Here's another Zippy quarterly. This will segue into a little quick discussion of the non-making of the non-movie that's been in the non-works for about 10 years. This is Zippy quarterly number 5, in which I went into an elaborate fantasy of what would have happened if the movie actually were made. By the time I finished that strip, I realized it was probably best that the movie never does get made. Here's an example of why. One of the meetings we had in Hollywood, we keep having these meetings, even to this day, I'm still occasionally invited to go down there, was with the Walt Disney Organization. And what happened was the guy that was our current producer for the movie, or current hopeful producer, was the same one who had brought the world Pee Wee Herman, the first Pee Wee Herman movie. And he had brought the movie first to Disney, and Disney had turned it down and later regretted it. This was before Pee Wee did his thing in Florida. And so they asked our producer, would he bring Zippy to Disney and have a meeting? So here's the meeting. Real Hollywood meeting, as reported to me recently by my producers. Here's the Disney guy in his sort of accountant's suit. Gentlemen, the Disney organization is very intrigued by your proposal. I want you to know that up front. And the producer says, we think our movies are natural for you guys. And Disney guy leans forward ominously. We don't want to miss the boat on this one, but one question keeps nagging at me. Can you see Zippy greeting visitors at Disneyland? He may frighten children, you know, the stubble. Now this is word for word, real meeting. So at the bottom it says, tomorrow Zippy invades the Magic Kingdom. So here's my fantasy of what it would be like if Zippy really did greet visitors at Disneyland. The folks at Disney Studios want to know, can Zippy greet visitors at Disneyland? Let's listen in. So there's the classic nuclear family. And there's Zippy with his big head. Hello, everybody. I'm Zippy, an unsettling dream image. Yow. And the father says, don't touch him, Jennifer. Jason, step back. And Zippy leans forward with a big grin. Let's speak in tongues and then send out for pizza. Come on in. We'll confront our subconscious yearnings while satirizing current pop trends. My polka dots contain hidden messages. And then particularly ominously at the end as they run screaming from Disneyland, are we having fun yet? Run, kids, run for your life. And at the bottom, my little postscript, maybe we should have tried Warner Brothers, which we actually did, and they also rejected us. Here's the poster for the non-movie. This is a poster we hired an airbrush artist to do. He made Zippy look a little antiseptic. We ran this as a, when I say we, I mean, people who put up money for these things. This was run as a 2-page spread in Variety about 3 years ago. I think that cost $35,000 or something to run this. And at the bottom we had, are we having fun yet, in Japanese, because we figured the Japanese were buying Hollywood and maybe they would finance our movie. Needless to say, it didn't work. I also get a lot of offers to make Zippy into some sort of Saturday morning kids animated cartoon by people who probably have never read Zippy. So here's an example of what might happen if that occurred. This is called Turn On, Tune In, Gross Out. So there's Griffey and Zippy as Saturday morning cartoon characters. Griffey says, oh, now we've been transmogrified into repulsoid animated kids cartoons. And Zippy says, every morning is Saturday morning. And Griffey says, we have that impersonal, non-specific look parents interpret as safe. And Zippy says, we're post-Disney and pre-sold. And the camera pans down to their feet. And Griffey says, we represent everything that's soulless and hateful in American pop culture. And Zippy says, we've betrayed our roots and insulted kids' imaginations at the same time. And there's those awful feet. We've been neutered, bottom-lined, and sucked dry of all offending traits. And Zippy puts a gun to his head and says, yeah, well, I'd blow my brains out if I had any. I like to do these things to get it out of my system, rather than sign major deals and lose my copyright. I won't read this whole strip, but this is just, this I did shortly after the Coneheads appeared on Saturday Night Live. I remember the night they first appeared, my phone was ringing off the hook with people telling me, look what they did, they ripped off Zippy. I didn't quite interpret it that way, although I did resent the movie what was it, a year or two ago, because I figured if that movie was a success, maybe we could make our Zippy movie, because Hollywood would say, yeah, tapered craniums, that's big, let's go find some more tapered cranium characters. But since it bombed, I guess it didn't quite work out. Anyway, this is just me showing that it's Zippy who actually writes the scripts for the Coneheads, and he's delivering the script just in time at the end, so Dan Aykroyd, at the end, says, relax, relax all nerve endings. Zippy delivered this week's Conehead script. Reward him with mass quantities. Oh. Dan Aykroyd did not take too well to this strip. Here's some examples of my Sunday strips. Most people in the Bay Area are probably only familiar with Zippy as a Sunday event because, let's face it, the Examiner is the largest underground newspaper in America. But I'll read the Christmas strip of a few years back, which starts, Christmas morning, Zippy and Jean-Paul Sartre exchange presents. So there's Sartre. I don't know, holidays always make me nauseous. And Zippy's got a big present. He says, what a Grinch. And Sartre continues, here, I hope you like it, though it's really a matter of total indifference to the universe. He hands Zippy a present. And Zippy takes it. I hope it involves viewing crudely animated, overly muscled computer imagery. And Sartre says, look at this elf. It is so hateful. And Zippy's looking at his present. He says, Super Mario, oh boy, crudely animated plumbers from Italy to confuse me for hours on end. Here's your present, Jean-Paul. I got it on sale. Sartre says, I will open it, but I tell you in advance, it disgusts me. And he opens it and he says, oh wow, nothingness, you shouldn't have. And Zippy says, I didn't.